Welcome everyone to the Collab Land Co-op Town Hall, our fourth edition. We are joined today on the Collab Land side by Anjali and James Young, both DAO officers for the Collab Land Co-op, as well as co-founders of Abridge.io, the creator of Collab Land. The mission of Collab Land is to create and enable community tools that encourage pro-social activity, as well as enabling collaboration and positive community interactions. Anjali and James have been strong champions of this mission, and it's great to have them here. Additionally, I Speak Nerd will be joining the panel today. He's an amazing Collab Land Comms team member focused on security and education. So welcome, guys. Great having you here.
Thanks, Chibi. Excited about Town Hall number 4. I can't believe it.
It's been a month already. I'm on Anjali's desk here, so it's the both of us representing Anjali today.
That's awesome. Welcome. So happy to have you here. And yeah, additionally, we have some other members of the Collab Land team in the audience. Thanks for joining. And yeah, just a quick note before we start with the conversation. We're going to have a POAP for today's town hall, which will go live at 1:20 p.m. Eastern until 1:40 p.m. Eastern. So it will be available for the last 10 minutes of the call and then for 10 more minutes. I will let you guys know. And yeah, I'll make sure to share the secret word with everyone so that you are able to claim your POAP.
And Chibi, one reminder about the POAPs is people need to have the mobile app, right?
That's right. So yeah, if you don't have it yet, you can download the POAP app in your mobile device. And then when it's available, we'll guide you through it, but you will have to enter the secret word that we will be sharing with you.
If you guys check the chat right now in the stage chat, it has the links to both the iOS and the Android app. So whichever phone OS you have, you can find the POAP app there and get that downloaded ahead of time and be ready for the POAP later on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, I think that we're good to start with the conversation for today's town hall. And firstly, I would like to bring up our Collab Land movies, Let's Form a Group. And with that, I have a question for you, Anjali. What is Let's Form a Group and who is featured in this week's episode?
Yeah, so Let's Form Group is a series of short films featuring Collab Land communities. We chose 7 different Collab Land communities to feature. And this week's episode is Mintage, MNTGIO is their Twitter account. And they are a digital fashion company that use vintage pieces and creating new NFTs on the blockchain. So they are using the experience that they have from the vintage and the fashion world to bring into NFTs and blockchain. So it's very exciting. And this is going to be the episode featuring 3 different founders from the project. So Let's Form Group initially, like the idea behind it, the concept behind it was to bring out the human beings in this space. You know, oftentimes we hear about how it's all hyper financialized and everyone's out for themselves. But they're actually really interesting people in this space, building community, innovating around relationships that are created from the blockchain and through NFTs. So we wanted to give a little bit of a view into our world as Collab Land. Like, what does Collab Land enable? Collab Land enables these relationships. And so the human beings behind these relationships, we wanted to be able to get that out into the mainstream media. So I'd recommend everyone watch. We're going to be watching it together, which is very exciting, but also share, retweet, tell your friends about it. What we really tried to do with this Let's Form Group series is create beautiful historical artifacts of this time. So people in the future and people that don't know about what we're doing here in the social crypto space, for them to be able to know about it and learn about it. And how do we do that? Well, we decided to make these movies as a visual representation. The music is beautiful. The scenes are beautiful. We hired Lore Machine and Adrian Butenhuis, who is a documentary filmmaker. They worked with us on this project, and they come from this rich experience of visual media. And so being able to tap them to create these beautiful movies together has just been perfect, because how do you really describe what happens in a Discord visually? That's not an easy thing to do. And so having this experience from Adrian, who's a documentary filmmaker, and from Toby, who's worked at Vice and Motherboard and has been telling digital stories visually for decades, was the perfect match for us. So today is going to be a Mintage episode that's coming out. And every single Tuesday at our town halls, at least for the next 5 weeks, we're going to be sharing the video with everybody. And so today's is going to be the Mintage episode.
Success.
That was just so, like, these communities are so different, right? Just like looking at Witherspoon's kind of take on just fashion and how that translates into community, and where he's like, how else do you get like an immediate response, whether it's good or bad? And it's just a privilege and just awe-inspiring just to see that, the little bit that we do here at Collab Land and what it can unlock. Like, I think we're all dreamers in our own way, and we express our dreams and what we want to see in the world and how we want to, as Steve Jobs says, make our dent in the universe here. And just being able to play our part here in terms of a larger movement, for lack of a better term, is awe-inspiring. And I know it's a lot of hard work. Everyone has ups and downs. And so just being able to share this moment with all of you here, and the shared experience of this video and this, like, few minutes just sharing together this visual audio story together, and how someone's journey is coming to light. And it's kind of awe-inspiring because, we're inventing the future here.
Yeah, and that's part of it. I mean, that was really the reason to make these videos, is to share our perspective here, which is a community perspective and a story of innovators that are coming into this space, and really to fight against that popular narrative of crypto. And so all of us, and I know we talk about this at every town hall, but it's like all of our responsibility to move this story and this narrative forward.
Yeah, we know better now. We know better, right? We thought that these other tech giants were going to help us, but as Nick was saying, they just acquired our data.
Yeah.
Right, for their own benefit. Whether or not it was intentional or it just happened to become that way, if you want to blame economies, capitalism, whatever, whatever you want to call it, or whatever the rationale or reason was, we actually can do better here together. And this is really the moment, and moments that why we can get a clear perspective and an understanding collectively why we are here in this Discord, in this sharing this moment together. And this is what we're hoping we can call out to other people that want to be part of creating the world we want to see. How do we make things better? Because now we know better, and we decide to take on that responsibility.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's taking responsibility, not as just consumers, but taking some responsibility over what we want to create. And that's kind of the idea of Collab Land now, which is community governed, community run, allowing everyone to take responsibility together for what we become. To bring it back to the videos a little bit, thank you, James. That was really cool. I love hearing him talk about this. But if you're interested in watching the films on your own, the Let's Form Group series, then be sure to check out our YouTube, which is youtube.com/@collabland. And you can see them there first. And then usually within the same day, they get added to letsformgroup.xyz. But if you're one of these people that's like Tuesday morning, gotta watch it first thing, definitely subscribe to our YouTube, youtube.com/@collabland.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for that. And I think that's a good intro for our next section in today's town hall agenda. And yeah, this has to do with a couple of questions that were asked during our last town hall. I would like to give a shout out to this user. His name is CryptoFan. He's a member of our Collab Land community. And he wanted to know more about the history of Collab Land. So he made a couple of questions, and I would like to bring them up today. So yeah, let's get to that, because I think that it's very interesting and it's good to bring them up. Yeah, every once in a while, because we have new members all the time, and I feel like this would be yeah, very interesting for them. So for Anjali and Jane, can you tell us about the origins of the project? How did it first come about?
Yeah, thanks so much. And I want to again say thank you to CryptoFan for the question. You know, if you have questions during the week, tag Chibi, tag me, tag Nerd, and then we can get them up here. So that way, every town hall, which is every single Tuesday, we can make sure to get your questions. So please ask away and give us an opportunity to bring it up. So the question that CryptoFan is, he said, every project has a story behind their name. Can you tell us more about the story of Collab Land? Who are the team behind this project, and can you tell us their background? So I think we're going to break that up into chunks here. We can start off with, what is the origin of Collab Land? Where did Collab Land come about? Why did it come about? Abridged, which is the corporation Abridged, that James and I and Raymond Fang are the co-founders of, started in 2018, incorporated in 2019. And we started off as a social wallet for people there was all this worry about losing your private key and not having any social recovery, having people that are coming from used to, you lose your password, you just go to email and you get your new password. We were coming from that culture. And so how do you get people that are so used to losing their password all the time to now create a crypto wallet where if you lose it, that's the end of it. And so the initial goal was to try to cater to that audience. And we worked on that for a few years with very little traction. There just weren't enough people interested in this space that we were able to get much traction with that initial project from Abridged. And so in January of 2020, we shifted gears to no-code tooling. Maybe if we can get developers to come in and start building apps in crypto, then we will end up getting more users. And so it was kind of a shift in perspective in terms of who our persona was going to be, who our targeted persona was going to be. But the main story, which was mass adoption, getting as many people as possible into this new space, that's always been the goal. So
Can I interrupt you there for a second?
Please.
So yeah, the idea was, instead of catering directly to end users, we would cater to developers because we would get more quote unquote bang for the buck. So instead of having to onboard a user at a time, if we onboarded a developer to use our tools, they would represent, 1,000, 100,000, or however many users that would use their product. So it was really trying to figure out, how do we get these like network effects going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And so it's like, the way we describe it is like, you can't have people wanting to move into an empty town. And so you've got to build the movie theater, you've got to build the restaurants, you've got to build the apartment complexes. And so who's going to do that? That's going to be the builders. And so if we get the builders here first building, then the chances of people moving in will be even greater. So Collab Land, ironically, was the first reference implementation of our no-code tooling. It was us saying, here, we've built something, Collab Land. Here's an app that you can see. We've built it for ourselves, for our own DAO at that time, to get members of the DAO into a Telegram chat together. And then having, knowing that everybody within that chat is an asset holder, is a has skin in the game for that project. And so we started with our own app that we created, and that was to encourage others and inspire developers to say, oh, okay, this is kind of a neat, fun toy, and now I will create my own neat, fun toy with abridged no-code tooling. However, that's not the way it went on.
Right. So what happened timing wise was this is around the time that COVID and the lockdown hit. And so we were seeing people wanting to, because they were at home, they're sheltering in place. We saw that crypto was getting out of the bear market because people weren't working and they were looking to figure out how to make money. And on top of that, this reference implementation, this Collab Land toy, helped connect people that own that shared asset. And we thought, great, people are going to want to use our dev tools to like expand on this. However, they were like, you know what? I'm not really interested in these no-code tools. I'm just interested in cultivating my community. And so we shifted then and we listened to the market. And we, instead of pushing our no-code tooling, we just decided to double down on Collab Land and expanding the feature set. Initially, it only supported ERC20 tokens. So then we started supporting NFTs because at that time, if people remember, not only was the DeFi summer of 2020 happening, but NFTs were starting to gain popularity. And so we originally thought that this Collab Land toy was going to be catered more toward just DAOs. And that was the initial implementation. But listening to the market, we're like, wait a second, there is this projects like Bored Ape coming up. And they were one of our first users. And then I think it was like World of Women, if I remember correctly. And they were asking for features and supporting not only just if you have the NFT or not, but what we call metadata gating, like the properties or trait values of an NFT, whether it's a Bored Ape with hard sunglasses or a Wonder Woman with a special skin tone color. Can we get more fine-grained access? So we then shifted the whole company to then building out token-gated features to support 721s, to support different blockchains, to support different wallets.
Yeah, and that it really, from the beginning, was a community-supported project. I mean, Collab Land was built in conjunction with these communities. Like James said, we started with DAOs, and then we moved into investment groups, and then it moved into social tokens, and then NFT communities. And it's really been the community admins themselves who are in direct relationship with us that guide feature development. I say this a lot, which is like, it wasn't just Raymond, James, and myself sitting in an ivory tower saying, this is the way it should go. It's definitely been an ongoing dialogue with our communities to learn what they need and how they do it. Like James mentioned, we started off as just ERC20. You have it or you don't. And now we've moved into a robust gamification that happens in a lot of these servers, which is with metadata gating, which is with having a certain number of NFTs. Now having a combination of an NFT of one category and a fungible token in another category, and that together makes its own new role. And so it's like the communities have very much outpaced us in terms of like what we could imagine versus what they do. And that's kind of why this is a community project from the beginning.
And we saw that we are becoming the bottleneck here.
Yeah.
And so what we decided to do is to open this up to the community. And this is why we have a marketplace. So instead of a core team guessing now what features or where this is going to go, this movement, this revolution when it comes to shared asset and community ownership here, we decided we can, and why don't we open up what we have? We invented this category, and we're so heads down. When we look up, we're like, wait a second, we have like 47,000 communities. We have 8.2 million verified wallets. Like, this is something that is on the cusp of mass adoption. And this is when we look back at what we were trying to do back in like 2018, 2019. This is happening. So how do we in a positive some way allow others to contribute to this so that we don't want to own this? Again, these other platforms that have centralized control, whether or not they understood what they were doing, regardless, and no judgment on that, we know better. So how do we share in this where the users and members of the network are owners of the network, just like the communities that we are serving have shared ownership? How do we open up Collab Land? And this is what we've been working on so hard with the marketplace, and now allowing third-party devs to build on top and decide, where the market is going. We have the top 100 communities, and we hope that, when they get the tokens, they can actually serve bounties and requests and say, this is what we want to see in our community. And we'll have Collab Land tokens that we've given to these top 100 communities for free. It's all 100% retroactive distribution. We did not have a pre-sale at all. We are not a DeFi project. We're not here for speculators. We're here to allow the future of social networks to be owned by members that use the network. So these communities are getting these tokens and can offer these tokens as bounties for features that they want to see in their communities. Now, developers can buy those tokens off of the members, right? Because the developers are then going to build the tools that these members and these communities want to see, and then potentially will charge those community members. This is the flywheel we're trying to spark here at scale. And so we're going back to our kind of original roots now as enablers or dev tooling. So really, this is not just an evolution and the next phase. This is not just elevating Collab Land from just token gating into a distribution platform, but this is full circle coming back to our original roots.
Well, and to add to that, a lot of the pushback is like, are people ready? Are the people that are participating in social networks now ready and willing and interested in taking responsibility for the direction of the social network?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the, from our learnings of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and how our activity is exploited, we're trying to move in a new direction. But are we ready for it? Let's see.
This is what we're doing here. I could talk about this forever. So I want to be mindful of time because I get way into.
Well, let's talk really quickly about the team behind Collab Land. I mean, initially, like I said, James, myself, and Raymond Fang, we are the co-founders. James, you want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, real quick. I have a history and experience in gaming and advertising and in crypto. So real quick, in gaming, I worked at a company called Zynga. I helped launch a game called Farmville that really gave me the insight into what it means to have a platform. And then after Zynga, I started a mobile gaming studio because the iPhone had just come out and people were building on top of the iPhone. And again, that cemented my understanding of kind of what marketplaces were. But I was like, wait a second. At that time, a lot of these games were free to play. And what was driving that? And what was driving the usage and the monetization of like Farmville? It was advertising. So I got into advertising to understand the, fundamentals of what really powers the internet. So I was at not a crypto exchange, a regular exchange, and I was trying to, at that time, understand how do we marry crypto with advertising. So with that, I got into Ethereum. This was 2016. I launched, co-wrote a white paper, launched a project where we talk about token curated registries. So you can, Google TCRs or token curated registries and James Young. I co-wrote that white paper with Mike Golden and Amin Soleimani. With that, we were also on the side looking into DAOs. I was fascinated by the DAO in 2016. and went down that rabbit hole and launched, co-wrote the white paper and launched Moloch DAO. So did that, and then also launched the first layer 2 payment channel on Ethereum mainnet. And then that is when I said, you know what, I need to take matters into my own hands, and that's when I started Abridged.
Thank you. I'll give a little brief introduction about myself, much briefer than James's. I've been a part of crypto communities as of 2021, but online communities my entire life, even before the internet was called the internet. I was dialing up into different bulletin boards when I was 18 and 19 years old, and that's a long time ago, 30 years ago. My first job out of college was at a search engine company years before Google. I graduated in 96, and the company I worked for was called Inktomy. And we thought we had one search. And so this time very much feels like early internet days for me. But between that very first job at an internet company to now, I've had a very a rich experience online in online communities. I talk a lot about how being an adoptive mom, I processed my entire adoption online. I was involved with attachment parenting groups. As a leader and also as a member, transracial adoption groups. I was a mod of a group of 60,000 adoptive parents and children. So always been a part of online communities. When Collab Land really took root, and the decision was this is going to be a community project, and we are pivoting Abridged to community now. Well, then James was like, okay, this is time for you to join. And so my position with Abridged and Collab Land is as the chief community officer and as a co-founder. And the reason for that is we wanted community to always have a seat at the table. Community is extremely important to me personally and has been throughout my adult life, the last 30 years at least. And so being able to be at this grassroots of brand new type of community, which is shared asset ownership communities, has been really special. So I'm very grateful for that. Other than that, I'm a lawyer. I'm an adjunct professor at a university. I homeschooled my children. I don't know. There's a lot. You can find me on Dama Daroka on Twitter.
Yeah, and so I also want to give mention real quick to our third co-founder, Raymond Fang. We moved from our no-code platform to be powered by Loopback. And Raymond has been working on Loopback for over 10 years in many different evolutions and iterations. There's no one better in the world. I will say that wholeheartedly than Raymond as our CTO to understand the tech behind it, because he's been in it and dealing with this and the evolution of the internet and technology, and with this project Loopback for over a decade. And it's now an open source project with the OpenJS Foundation. So I want to give a huge shout out to Raymond there. And then, our investors actually have backed us and had huge, belief in us and still do. So it's
from before even Collab Land took off.
Yeah, before Collab Land took off, and they saw us and how we've evolved and how we are evolving now into a marketplace. So it's Distributed Global, Road Capital, and Superscript.
And Lemniscap.
So we have a couple of angels as well, but those are our lead investors. Great reputation in crypto, and they're very much forward thinking, and they're very active in terms of how we go about and figure out our next steps, our roadmap, and they've been behind us and huge supporters.
Also, they are committed to the social crypto space. I will say that all of our investors are very much believers in this side of it, which is Web3 social. So it's been pretty exciting. You can find them on the About section on our website. So if you go to collab.land and you go to the About section, you can see a blurb about James, Raymond, myself, and also Alok, who is our lead dev. You'll get to see a little bit about them. And then also under our investors, you can see who our investors are, check out their websites. and see what their commitment really is to Web3 social, because that is not for everybody. And our investors have been behind Web3 social from the beginning. So I just want to give a shout out to them. So where did we come from and where are we going? So, James spoke a little bit about where we're going here. We are the premier token gating tool, creators of token gating, on the cusp of innovation when it comes to token gating, again, based on the fact that we grow with community-led development. And that's been a premise of our business from day one. So because of that, we get to be on the cusp of it. We're not deciding ourselves, we're working in conjunction with our communities. But where are we going now? Well, we have a marketplace. So we are allowing third-party developers to come and build features, to have crypto communities customize their own experience. Not everyone needs everything, and we recognize that. But in order to give all the tools, give every single tool possible, and allowing each community to curate and customize their own experience based on their members, which is key. So any admins out there, any prospective admins, check out the marketplace on the command center, which is cc.collab.land. If you're an admin or a mod, you're going to be able to install some mini apps there. And then with the DAO, we are inviting everybody to join the DAO. DAO voting will be starting the first week of April. And come and bring your voice, because this belongs to all of us. And so it's going to take responsibility from all of us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for the
much.
question.
Absolutely. And as well as you can talk about this all day, I can listen to you talking about this all day because I just love these stories. So thank you for answering to these questions, and a last shout out to Crypto Fan for bringing them up. Yeah, I think this is great, and yeah, thanks everyone for listening as well. And with that, I think that we're good to talk a little bit about our next topic for today's town hall. And that would be Collabland's mission, vision, and values.
Thank you so much. And you made that sound so exciting, and I love it. And that kind of harkens back to the conversation earlier, which is like, this belongs to all of us. And so it's not just participating for the sake of somebody else. This community belongs to all of us. Collab Land belongs to all of us, everybody in this room. And so take that responsibility, join in. Like, let's not create a dystopian future here. Let's try to create something here together that serves the needs of the people who are participating in the network itself. So this is kind of the first step, mission, vision, and values, where your voice is going to be able to be heard in the direction of Collab Land. And like Nerd said, this is super duper important. This is going to guide how we move forward. And so, we encourage and welcome all of you to participate.
Absolutely. And now I would like to make a quick pause here because our POAP is now available for claiming. So that's something else that's exciting. And yeah, be ready for the secret word. You can go and open your POAP apps in your mobile devices. Select the mint option and then go where it says secret word. And in there, in that little box, you are going to write the secret word that is community admin. That's the secret word for today's POAP, community admin, all lowercase, there's no spaces, those two words together. Again, that's community admin. With that, please don't write it anywhere in any of the chats because that's against POAP policies, and we don't want to break those. So please don't write it anywhere. I can repeat it if you guys weren't able to hear it, or if you need to verify that that's the word. But yeah, please let me know if you need me to repeat it. I'm happy to do so, but please don't write it in the chats. So yeah, once again, before we continue with today's agenda, the secret word for the POAP is community admin. So with that, yeah, that's going to be available for another 18 minutes. So you have some time to claim it. And yeah, with that, I think that we're good to talk a little bit about the next topic for today's town hall, and that would be an update about our top 100 communities distribution process. So, what's been the latest regarding our top 100 communities? So last week, Collab Land and Fire Eyes finished reviewing each one of the proposals submitted by our top 100 communities and provided feedback for each one of them. As of the moment, we have 19 approved proposals. We have 10 approved with questions proposals. This means that there's maybe a section of the proposals that we had questions about. So we asked each one of those communities about these questions, and when they get back to us, we will review their answers, and that will decide if they are approved or if they need to edit that answer again. And then we have 33 go backs proposals. That means that doesn't mean that they were declined. No, they can resubmit their proposals. We also provided feedback and the reasons why they are go backs and weren't instantly approved. And so they can consider that feedback and come back with a new proposal. Then we're going to do the whole process again. They're going to go through the comment period. You're all going to be able to read their new proposals and give us your feedback, your comments. So yeah, that's happening. And yeah, just a reminder, all of the proposals are public. You can go to the community proposals channel. As of right now, commenting is not available, but it will be when the next round begins. But as of the moment, you can read the proposals again. You can read the feedback that Collab Land gave to those communities. You can see if they were approved or what questions were asked. And yeah, that's all public. If you're curious about your community, your community's proposal, you can go and take a look there. And now, what are the next steps? And for this, I'm going to share. Oh, Nerd already did. Thank you, Nerd. So there's this image with the next deadlines and steps. For the approved proposals, they're going to have to complete these steps that are listed here. They need to confirm that their proposal is accurate, that there's that the addresses that they provided are correct. They're going to have to verify by doing a transaction. Then they are going to have to post a tweet that's going to have their proposal. And then the distribution will begin. You can see all of the deadlines in the image that Nerd posted. Then for the ones approved with questions, they're going to have to get back to us with those answers and then pretty much follow the same steps as the approved proposals. And then for the go backs, they're going to have to resubmit their proposals. This round will begin on April 3rd, so that's very soon. And there's going to be a week period for all of these communities to resubmit their proposals, and also for communities that did not submit their proposals on the first round, they can do it when this second round begins. So we encourage you to ask your community leaders if they didn't submit a proposal, they can do it now. So you can bring it up. You can ask for them to do it now because, yeah, now is the right time to do so. And so, yeah, that's the latest updates. We will, of course, keep you guys updated with any updates, any news, any next steps. And yeah, also feel free to ask your questions. Ask your community leaders or ask us if you need any additional information. And if it's available, we will share it with you.
I also want to point out that 15% of all total Collab Land tokens went to our top 100 communities, really for them to decide how to best distribute and engage with their communities. So it's very exciting now to be in this proposal process with them. Many of them have worked with their communities in order to create this proposals, and you can see that with the proposals that are already in the proposal channel. And you can go through and see who got a yes with question, and who got a go back. And like Chibi mentioned, go back means it's not necessarily aligned with what we're hoping for with engaging your communities. So give it another try. Either go and talk to your community again, or take the feedback that we're giving and trying to create a proposal that is going to be positive sum for everybody. So we're very excited about that. And it's kind of like a DAO light situation right now, where it isn't the DAO itself that's voting on these top 100. It's the Collab Land team and the Fire Ice team, but the community is still invited during the public comment period to share their feedback. So we hope you do. The first feedback has already gone out, but April, like Chibi mentioned, April 3rd through 10th, there's going to be a second public comment period. So please join.
Absolutely. Thanks, Anjali. And a last quick note here would be that all proposals need to be submitted before May 23rd. That's the end of the token claim period. So we're going to have, I guess, a couple more rounds to go through this whole process. But yeah, they need to be submitted before that date. So yeah, just a quick note here. And again, you can ask your community leaders to work on those proposals. And yeah, we're excited about this and excited to read your comments as well. And all of your feedback is super helpful. So thank you for everyone who has taken the time to go through those and to share your comments. And yeah, now one more BOAP reminder here for those who may have missed the word earlier in the call. Again, the secret word is community admin. You have 10 more minutes to claim your BOAP if you haven't done it yet. And wow, with that, I think that we're good to wrap up. I'd like to bring up just a couple more notes. The first one would be that our DAO proposals are going live the first week of April, as Angeli mentioned earlier. So that's super exciting. We will keep everyone updated on the next steps and how that's going to work. So that's exciting. Also, for Angeli, would you like to talk a little bit about the new role that Collab Land has for community admins?
Yes, I'm so excited about this. You know, we have this marketplace that's out with lots of different mini apps that are available for different community admins to customize their own Collab Land experience. And so we started thinking a lot about, like, how do we get these community admins to be able to share best practices with each other, share which new mini app that they're using and how they're using it in their community, and where do we get all of them together in order to start collaborating together and inspiring each other. And so we have a new role in the Collab Land Discord server called Community Admin. It's for people who are already community admins to help each other and talk amongst each other, but also for prospective community admins. Like the beauty and benefit of the marketplace is that Collab Land itself, you know, the core team, we aren't coming up with the features anymore. We are opening it up to third-party devs, and the world is really wide open now. It's not just going to be limited to us, but it's the creativity of any admin that's out there to give an idea for what they're interested in, and for any devs out there to pick up those ideas and create something beautiful and exciting and engaging for communities in this space. So having this new channel for community admins and having a new role for community admins, will be popping in there every once in a while too, when we have new features that we want to share with you. But also it's an opportunity for you to have your own space to talk amongst each other. So we're very excited about having that.
Absolutely. We're also going to be announcing it for the people who are not in here, to make them aware of this new self-select role and yeah, the new channel to have these kind of discussions. So that's exciting, and welcome everyone who wants to be part of this new channel. And yeah, lastly, I think a quick reminder that you can find our town halls and all of our recorded events in the YouTube channel. And we also have a recordings channel here on Discord. I will share it in a little bit in the chats. And in there, you can find all of the recordings for all of our events. I'm going to share that real quick in case that you're interested. There you have it, the recordings post in the events room. And also a quick invite I want to make for our DevRel office hours that is going to be happening this Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be hosted by Kenny, that's part of the Collab Land team. So if you're interested in more of a dev aspect, or if you're a developer or are interested in this kind of events, you're welcome to join. We're also going to be streaming it to YouTube and Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. So you're welcome to join this coming Thursday. There's an event as well in the events room if you would like to RSVP to that and get a reminder for when it starts. You're welcome to do so. And you can find all other events that we're having in the events channel and all of the updates, news, anything exciting that's coming. You can find that in the announcements channel here in the Discord server. So stay tuned to those because we share everything in there for you to be up to date with what's going on with the project. And I saw that someone was asking for the secret word again. So that's community admin. For Sim, I see you asking here. Community admin is the secret word, all lowercase, no spaces, just those two words together. Community admin. You have 6 more minutes to claim the POA. So you still have some time to do that. Again, just in case, the secret word is community admin. And with that, just I think a last note here, and that's that we host these town halls on Tuesdays, usually at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. The times may vary depending on if there's any other events overlapping or if we find a better time that suits more time zones. But for now, it's at 12:30 Eastern on Tuesdays, always on Tuesdays. So you're invited to come and join for the next ones. We're super happy to have you here. And I think with that, we're ready to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anjali and James, for joining. And Nerd, it's been awesome to have you here.
Thank you, Chibi, for leading this. You always do such a fabulous job. Thank you so much.
For sure, Chibi, I love hearing your voice, and you're just doing an amazing job with these town halls. And thank you so much to Nerd as well.
Yes, thank you, Nerd, for leading the MVV.
Thank you.
For sure. Love to do it. Love to see what's going to come out of that for the final version.
Super exciting.
And thank you for everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. It really means a lot for everyone that shows up here at the town hall every single week. Like, you're the most engaged members of the Discord community and really of the Collab Land DAO and the token itself. And so having you here is extremely special. And, just thank you for showing up every single week. And, we're going to do this together. And that's really the call to action to all of you, which is we're going to do this together. So we're just excited to have you here and just looking forward to getting to know all of you.
Absolutely. And I see one more question about the POAP secret word. So I'll repeat it one more time before we end the call. And that would be community admin. All lowercase, no spaces. Once again, community admin is the secret word to claim the POAP. There's 3 more minutes to claim it. And oh god, thank you so much for being here. It's super exciting to host this and to read you guys read your comments and questions, and just to see you here is very exciting and makes me very happy. So thank you.
And reminder, there's going to be 2 more events this week. There's the DevRel office hours with Kenny. That was going to be on Thursday morning Pacific time. And then also our MVV brainstorming session number 2 is going to be happening on Thursday night. So hope to see you all there.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think that with this, we're good to wrap things up. Thanks again, everyone, for attending the Collab Land Co-op Town Hall number 4. We'll see you next time.